Hello, 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 everybody. It's your buddy Jarrod, the yard sale artist here. A little pop-up live stream for the Longbox Crusade. We're having a good time here tonight on this. It's Friday night fun. It's Friday night fun. And we're going to do some G.I. Joe Friday night fun tonight for mail call. This is a mail call episode. So I got some new stuff in the mail so everyone can see my fanciness. And I'm going to open it here on the show, and we're going to talk about it. I titled the show the G.I. Joe figures, Special Missions Brazil from 1986. So, gosh darn it, I hope that's what's in this box. I'm pretty sure that's what's in this box, and if not, well, we may have to retitle this one. But yeah, got this box in the mail this week. I'm slowly but surely going through year by year and filling in the holes of my G.I. Joe collection. And I got all the 82, 83, 84, 85. I think I've got all those. And then I'm in 86. And I think the only ones I have left for 86, this is off the top of my head, so don't hold me to it, is the Special Missions Brazil team, which hopefully is in this box. And I still need an original Sergeant Slaughter that came with the vehicle, the one that says USA on his chest. Don't have that one yet. But yeah, that's I'm going to start opening the box. But that should round out 86, and then I can move into 87. And I, over the years of collecting them as a kid and then on my yard sale, and I mean, I have the bulk of them. It's just onesie twosies. So it'll be fun when I go to Winterfest in Kentucky, G.I. Joe Winterfest in Shepherdsville, Kentucky this January. Whatever's next up on my list then is I'll pick it up. Hey, Courtney, I want to welcome my good friend Courtney to the chat. It's good to see you, Courtney. I hope you're having a good holiday season. I'm opening this box up right now. I'm not doing a good job at it, but I'm opening up this here box. Oh, goodness. All right. The box is now open. And nicely packaged. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, you can see that. The person wrote thank you inside the lid. This was an eBay purchase because I knew I was going to be looking for these Special Missions Brazil guys. I figured I'd get them at Winterfest in January, but just to kind of know what I was going to be in for, what I was going to be spending on them. I went on eBay to look, and I saw what the average cost. This set is a little bit pricey. And I went on eBay just to find out, what the priciness was going to be. And I got an idea of what it was. And then I saw there was a guy on eBay selling the set, like get them all together at once at a pretty good deal. Pretty marked down from the other pricing I was seeing. So I thought, you know what? Let's jump on that. And I can tell you why. And I'm sure we'll get to that when we get the figures. Right now I'm pulling all these there's a bunch of individually wrapped items. I think I got everything. But the original, Courtney says, you should have pre-opened. Well, half the fun is watching me fumble with the packaging, Courtney. So the original set of Special Missions Brazil that came out in 86, I'm pretty sure it was, 1986, all came in one box. It was 5 guys, their accessories, and a cassette tape. And on one side of the cassette tape was an audio Special Missions you could listen to. And if I remember correctly, on the other side, it was a blank tape. And it said something like, this society is for you to record your own adventures, So that's how they did that back in the day. And I think the reason I was able to get this so cheap is there's no tape included. And that's okay, because I only collect the guys. Like, the first thing we're going to look at from the box is the bag of accessories. It looks like almost all accessories are, maybe all, actually, the more I look at it. Maybe all. If not all, then very, very, very close to all the accessories are here, which is nice. It's a bonus to me. I don't get hung up on the accessories. I don't get hung up on the file cards, or in this case, like the cassette that came with it. I'm a pure figure collector. I put them on a figure stand and they go into my display cabinet, and that's how I do it. So I'm not even like hard on the quality of the figure. Like if it's got a broken thumb, broken crotch is very common in G.I. Joes. None of those things really bother me. I mean, if they don't have that, it's a bonus, but so that's why I think I was able to get this one a little on the cheap, is A, that it didn't have the cassette. And if I remember correctly, I think one of these guys has a broken crotch, but make your broken crotch jokes in the comments as you would. Hi, Jim. My buddy Jim is here to correct everything that I get wrong when I talk, when I talk about this figure set. My buddy Jim, the Joe Junkie, is in the chat. Just dropped a hey, Jarrod. Hey, Jim. Always cool to see you here. Jim is my guy when it comes to G.I. Joe figures. I'm always like texting him. In fact, I did text him about this order, and he did confirm that I got a pretty good deal on it, good pricing. So yeah, boy, this dude who shipped these, this is next level. I've never seen a guy take the time to put a packaging peanut between the legs so they didn't bang together. But here's my first one. This is the leather neck, I do believe, that comes with him. This is considered leather neck version 2. I think everyone that comes in the Special Missions Brazil is a version 2, with the exception of Claymore. I think that's Claymore's first version. I will allow Jim to correct me on that in the chat. And I want to say hey to my buddy Billy from Magazines and Monsters. Hello, bud. He's watching over there on Facebook. So right out of the bat, boom, leather neck. He's in really good shape. He doesn't even look played with, to be honest with you. And again, I don't really get hung up on that when it comes to my Joes. I just like to have the figure. And but this one, I mean, I don't complain about it when they're in nice shape. So he's in super good shape. Doesn't look played with at all. Sometimes I buy Joes on eBay because they're cheaper, because they have a broken, the rubber O-ring inside them are broken, and people will just sell them like that, and you can get them a little cheaper, because I am an expert at replacing O-rings. In fact, if any of these need replacing today, I'll go get my kit and I'll replace one here live on the show. Let's see here. This guy packaged this stuff like it was gonna freaking go to the Smithsonian. Goodness gracious. Not complaining, but there we go. Yeah, he really does put a little packaging peanut between the legs of every Joe. All right, and that is Claymore. And yep, he is the one that I thought I remembered there being one in the listing that had the broken crotch piece. And so he does have the broken crotch. But aside from that, he's in really good shape, to be honest with you. And yeah, I don't get hung up on that. So I think that's Claymore version 1. And according to Jim in the chat, Claymore is an original figure made up of pieces and parts of other figures. Okay, yeah, they did like to do that back in the day. And if I'm not mistaken, since Pat and I were doing the Devil's Due run of G.I. Joe comics on G.I. Joe Chronicles here on the network, Blaylock actually brings Claymore into an issue or two. I remember sort of mid to late of the first run, if I remember correctly, brought the character in. So cool. We got Leatherneck. We got Claymore. And yes, Courtney is correct. You can replace the O-ring, and I can indeed. I'm very, very good. Years ago, I bought from like smalljoes.com. I bought like a 500 or 1,000 bag of O-rings, and I replaced one or two, probably every. Actually, I probably replace about 6 or 8 every year. In fact, just yesterday, as I'm struggling to get this thing open here, I went to my display cabinet, and I noticed on the top row, and it's kind of chronological. On the top row is like the 82, 83, 84, 85, 86. It's a long shelf, and it's deep, so I can fit a lot in there. I noticed like 3 of them had fallen over, and I just thought, well, over time. So I kind of went in stealthy style and pulled them out without knocking all the other ones over. And all 3 of them had fallen over because their O-rings had busted just from standing there. They've been standing in there for about, 15 years. So I was like, that's interesting that they just busted, not from play or anything like that, but just from standing there. So I replaced those this week and put them back in there. Another one with the packaging peanut between the legs. I've never seen that before. I don't know why it amuses me, but it does. And in the chat, over on Facebook, our friend Billy says he loved how on the show Leatherneck and the Navy guy, I can't remember his name, used to bust each other's balls all the time. I want to say leatherneck and wetsuit like to mix it up a lot. I will defer to Jim in the chat on that one. And I want to welcome Rick from Jeff and Rick Presents. He's chatting from Facebook and YouTube somehow. I'm not sure, but he's giggling about how I said O-ring. And I've said broken crotch a few times too. So this is a great show for you, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, I should probably just leave this comment up. Courtney is correct. I am on the struggle bus for opening things. This guy packaged this stuff, let's just say in a paranoid fashion. But hey, I've mailed stuff too. And I get it. The post office sometimes goes out of their way. All right, this is a good looking figure. I just pulled out the third one of the 5, which is wetsuit version 2. I've always liked wetsuit. I think he's a cool design. This is a cool repaint. Still prefer the original, but this repaint is pretty cool. So yes, that is a really, really good looking wetsuit in sort of a gray and blue outfit. I'm really liking these repaints. I mean, like we said, Claymore is an original made from other parts. I like his leopard print pants. He and Pimp Destro would go nicely together. But I think these are the two guys. Yep, Jim confirmed in the chat. These are the two guys, a leatherneck and wetsuit. They were sort of always at each other. And they both come in Special Missions Brazil. And they're both repaints. And I really like the repaints on both of them. They're really good looking figures. So far, so good. And Jim says this version of wetsuit is his favorite. And I can see why. That's really cool. It is a really good repaint. You know, most of the time on repaints, I have just a couple of feelings. I either go, that's interesting, or I go, that's kind of a major downgrade. Or I go, oh, that's amazing. And I don't say that's amazing a lot. And I usually don't say that's a major downgrade. It's usually like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But this wetsuit, that is very cool. And I like the khaki leather neck as well. Jeff from Jeff and Rick says, make them fight. Maybe I'll make them fight later on. Right now, the fight is me getting this packaging open. All right. This is version 2, Special Missions Brazil of Dial Tone. Man, these guys don't feel like them. These figures don't feel like they've been played with at all. These are in incredibly good shape, with the exception of broken crotch Claymore. But there's Dial Tone. I'm sorry, there's Dial Tone. And of the repaint so far, this one's probably my least favorite. I'm not sure about the crimson pants, but I've never been a big fan of the color crimson for my own personal reasons. But it's not bad. Like I'm not mad at it. I'm just like, it's an interesting repaint. So there's your Dial Tone. And fun fact, founder of the Longbox Crusade Network, Pat Sampson, big Dial Tone fan. I think that's his number 1, Joe. So yeah, all right. That's 4 out of the 5. And I probably won't even open. I keep all the accessories separately. I probably won't even open that pack, but I'm looking. I have on my second screen here, I can see the accessories that came with these guys. And I think this is absolutely complete with the accessories. If not, it's really, really, really close. That's pretty cool. All right. I don't even know who the 5th guy is. Let me see. I'm looking on the... You know what? I'll just be surprised. I won't even cheat and look on the other screen. All right. Jim has a prediction in the chat. He says, I foresee that Hasbro will be re-releasing Special Missions Brazil in classified. No, they have made all but Claymore, and it would be hard to accomplish that. Interesting. Yeah, you may be right. And Rick is right when he says I'm throwing fists at this packaging, man. This packaging is tough, but I'm getting it. And and then Rick made the joke in the chat. Pat just likes listening to dial tones, and Courtney jumped on and said, "Pick up the phone." These are some Longbox, official Longbox listeners right here doing all the in jokes. I love it. All right, I got the final one open. And Jim is correct. It is Mainframe, which I find a little surprising. But there you go. Mainframe in a repaint. He's also has the red khaki going on there, which is okay. Again, I'm not mad about it, but I would say he and Dial Tone, which I think is weird that you would bring two comms guys on your special mission to Brazil. It's weird planning, but I'm okay with it. Their repaints are just like okay, like oh, that's interesting. The ones that I think are standout are Wetsuit and Leatherneck. Those are really, really good repaints, in my opinion. Really good. And then, of course, we have original Claymore with everybody say it with me, busted crotch. And those are your 5 members of Special Missions Brazil. Each one of these guys is a version 2 of their figure, with the exception of Claymore. He's version 1. So these 4 guys, they basically repainted these 4 Joes, put them in a package with a Joe they made out of pieces and parts of another Joe and repainted and named him Claymore. And again, this came out in, I want to say, 1986. Feel free to help me out with that in the chat, Jim. I think this is an 86 one. And it originally came with a cassette tape where you could listen to the audio adventure of the special mission in Brazil. And Jim can help me out with this too. I want to say on the other side, on side 2 of that one, it was blank and it said something like record your own adventure here or something to that effect. This is going from memory. This is why I have to check with Jim on all this. This is going from memory from 1986. So, help me out there. Let's see. Devil's Due, according to Jim, Devil's Due released a special missions comic that included this special missions team, even had them in these colored uniforms. All right. I don't know that I remember that. So someone's got to help me out here on this one. Welcome to the chat, our friend Tony. Tony says, "Want to circle back? Would Dial Tone be given a new code name, given that dial tones are no more?" That's a good point. When was the last time you heard a dial tone? Wow, that's a perspective I hadn't thought of, and now I'm just going to sit here and be sad for a little while. Jim is saying that 86 is correct. He's also saying 87. This is one of those projects that's sort of like released in 86, discontinued 87, or I'll take your word for it, Jim. Yeah. This is 86, 87 time frame. Man, I thought I saw something else. And Rick says he did not just call the Longbox Crusade phone number, which he might have. And you know what? If you want to, anybody wants to call and leave a voice message, I'll put the banner up. There it goes, right there at the bottom of the screen, 707-532-5269, 707-532-LBOX. The great thing about that is you can pick up and you can leave a message for any of our shows. You can, even this pop-up live stream of Mail Call, you can leave a voicemail and be like, hey, I had the Special Missions Brazil and it was cool. And Jarrod doesn't know what he's talking about, which is true. That's why I have Jim in the chat. So, yeah, do that. So, looking at my spreadsheet, because y'all know I track this stuff. Yes, I do. I do track this stuff. I'm going to pull up my G.I. Joe spreadsheet. Last one of these pop-ups, I did the James Bond movies on VHS that I had come in, and I tracked those in my spreadsheet. Jim in the chat getting some clarification. Yeah, it was 86. It was one of the quickest repainted figures that Hasbro did. I get what he's saying from because I think they released a lot of these characters were 85, 86 figures, and then they quickly repainted them. Same year. Yeah, there you go. Same year of original versions. Interesting. Huh. Very cool. So anyway, I'm going to 86 to add these guys to my spreadsheet. So you guys get to watch a guy fill in his spreadsheet, which I know is a lot of fun. Yeah, 86. Yeah, he's right. Same year. Dial Tone version 1 was 86. So yeah, these were really, really, really fast repaints. And Leatherneck. Yep, he was an 86 figure. Just looking here at my spreadsheet, I know how much you guys love the spreadsheet adventures of the Longbox Crusade. Wetsuit. Yep, 86, all same year. And was Mainframe 86? He sure was. Mainframe was 1986 as well. Cool. As I type in my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles keyboard, by the way, because I want you to know that I'm fancy with everything. Okay. Not just my G.I. Joe figure collection. Claymore version 1. I do keep on a spreadsheet as well, a detailed list. I do track what accessories I have or are missing. So I actually probably will crack that accessories bag open and go check that out. That'll take a bit of time, so I won't do that here on the live show. And Jim says, what I do with my sheets is up to me. Oh, we have such good times. And Tony, yes, I'm actually using the Google Docs or the Google version of spreadsheets for this. What's neat about that is you can take an Excel spreadsheet and save it off into Google, and it'll convert it back and forth. So I actually do have this as both a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet and the online version. I like the online version best because that's easy for me to pull up when I'm out G.I. Joe hunting and shopping and stuff like that. I want to say hey to Heinz, who stopped by to talk Joes with us real quick. Courtney, you're absolutely right. I am Mr. Fancy Pants. You know what? You've earned it. I will show you my keyboard that I type the stuff in on. I wouldn't want my fanciness to be in question. There you go. There's my keyboard. Everybody soak that in for a minute. You've earned it. You guys earned a look at my keyboard. Proud of each and every one of you. And just checking the chat. Everybody's chatting with each other, which is wonderful. I love our chat community. All right, so that's about it. Special Missions Brazil is now on the spreadsheet. And then separately on my phone, I keep a list of Joes that I'm hunting. And I have removed them, which means I lack but one figure, and I'll be done with 1986. And that is Sergeant Slaughter version 1, the one that has USA on the tank top. And what I've done is I put a moratorium on ordering any figures until after Christmas, because some of my friends have access to this list too that like to buy Christmas gifts. They are like, hey, send me your Joe Hunt list, and they'll find one or two that I need on there and give them for me for Christmas, which is wonderful. I have very good friends like that. And so I'm not buying any Joes until after Christmas, see what comes of Christmas. And then in January, Jim and I are going to Winterfest, G.I. Joe Winterfest in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. I want to say it's the 24th of January. And that's a cool toy show, a G.I. Joe toy show, just a one-day show. And Jim and I are going to be there. And I'll be hunting whatever's next on my list while we're there. So that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. And yes, I also only wear cargo shorts. Actually, cargo jorts, by the way, Tony. Jorts. I like the denim. Anyways, that's it. That is it. Thanks. I'll pull these guys up one more time. We'll take one more good look at them. We'll call it a day. Very happy to have these checked off. They're not terribly common. They are somewhat difficult to find, but luckily some guy on eBay had all of them together with the bag of accessories for a decent price. So I jumped on it, and now they will be put on stands and they will go into my figure case. And that, my friends, is that. Thanks again for being here in this pop-up episode. I'm sure next time I get something fancy in the mail, I will be back again to chat with you guys. And odds are it would be G.I. Joe figures. Although I do have another box of James Bond on VHS inbound. This one's not technically my fault. Okay, so the next pop-up one will probably be a James Bond on VHS again. Not technically my fault. One of my good friends on social media, one of my followers on X, and I think he's also follows me on Instagram. He messaged me that he was out thrifting, Goodwilling, and he found a bunch of Bonds on VHS, and he took a picture of them in his cart. He was like, hey, these are what they are. This is how much it'll cost to ship to you. He wasn't trying to make any money, just basically shopping for me. And the deal was good enough. So I got another box of James Bond VHS on its way. So with that, awesome. And I'll catch you guys later. I will act froze. Before I do that, if you're still listening, still watching Longbox Crusade, check us out on any podcatcher for our many podcasting shows. And please, if you haven't already, give us a subscription over on YouTube. And always drop in comments. And thank you to the people who are in the chat. You guys make this fun. And I just saw this comment pop before I leave. And yes, Rick, I have an addiction, and I'm live streaming it. So there's that. You guys are awesome. I will act frozen, and I'll catch you next time. I'm totally frozen. It's all